Hey everyone, this is Josh Vardaman, and I'm going to be talking to you about sports and their role in the media and vice versa. So let's go ahead and get started. So the media landscape is changing. It's been changing for a long time, and with that change, we're viewing sports in a new light. With personal computers, the internet, wireless technology, mobile communication, social websites, and television coverage, sports are thrust into your everyday life like never before. Nowadays, you get information when it happens, and you don't have to wait until the next day in the newspaper or a week from now when someone tells you about it when they read it in the newspaper and stuff like that. Um, let's take this first example of Ohio State quarterback J.T. Barrett when he was suspended on Halloween for their next upcoming game for driving under the influence. The incident happened early Thanksgiving morning. He was driving around campus, was stopped at a checkpoint and breathalyzed, and was found to be driving under the influence. He was suspended then for the next game, which is coming up this Saturday. The story was broken Saturday, and it was national news in a matter of hours after he was arrested. Let's say this incident happened 20 or 30 years ago. We wouldn't have learned that about the incident, and probably until the newspaper came out on a Monday morning, not a Saturday morning, right after it happened. So this technology in the media um, being made readily available on multiple platforms is something that Patrick Smith, Director of Media Relations for the Denver Broncos, states in the text. He says, 10 years ago, if you wanted to connect with fans, you had to go through a newspaper. Now we connect with them directly and immediately. So not only is our information readily available, but it is becoming more apparent that in today's technology, using things like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all those other great fun social media sites, the media isn't even limited to journalists or commentators anymore. Anyone could be a member of the media in today's world. Let's take Coakley as an example. He states in the text that online interactivity enables people to bypass the gatekeepers of content in the old media as they construct their own interpretations of events, athletes, and the overall organization of sports. Let's think about when there's something like the Super Bowl happening. In the most previous one, with the New England Patriots beating the Seattle Seahawks, Twitter and Facebook were filled with fans analyzing the games as it was happening. Those social media platforms have given any average Joe the chance to become an analyst. And as Coakley states again, people now have the ability to produce and distribute sports content and commentary. So you can be kind of like Chris Collinsworth in a way, if you really want to be like Chris Collinsworth, I suppose. So with the idea that the average Joe can be an analyst or a commentator on Twitter, Facebook, new media, as Coakley states in the text, those people, the average Joe that wants to be the analyst or the commentator, are kind of driving the way sports associations are kind of handling their athletes. Let's take the example of Ray Rice and the saga that enveloped the NFL when he was videotaped beating his wife and dragging her out of an elevator. When the original video came out on TMZ Sports, the NFL suspended Ray Rice for a couple of games. The media got a hold of that, and people who read the story, watched the video, stuff like that, started to become the commentators and analysts, like I mentioned before, and went into an uproar about how they gave him just a couple of games suspension when the video was so violent and whatnot. And that caused the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to adjust the punishment. Ray Rice was suspended for the rest of the season, and he's still not on a current NFL roster. As Coakley states in the text, the dominant goals of the media and sports are to make profits and distribute content that promotes the ideas and beliefs of people in positions of power and influence. So the beliefs of the people of power and influence in the NFL, or Roger Goodell, were to give Ray Rice a minimal suspension for what he did. But once the media put that position out there, they had to drastically change that suspension and suspend him for the rest of the year. So media kind of drove that and drove the NFL to give him more of a suspension. And it was really people like a regular Joe Schmo like you and me that kind of drove that. And that's how media is kind of changing that part of an NFL or any other sport organization. So as we kind of close out, I just want to again emphasize that the media landscape is changing, and with that change, we're viewing sports in kind of a different light. Not only are every other day people becoming kind of analysts, commentators, stuff like that when it comes to sports, but we're getting information readily available, and we're changing the way that sports teams and other things are handling their employees, athletes, however you want to state it. As Coakley states, sports and the media have become increasingly interdependent as both become more important parts of social worlds. So as they continue to grow, we'll keep changing, and we'll keep making sports and media intertwined and things of that nature. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.